It's now 1 minute moving up to the hour of 3. You are tuned in to Anniversary Radio, DBS. We're currently on standby to bring you live coverage of the DBS Radio Ministry of Education National Reading Competition from the Bense Primary School.
Question 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's now 2 minutes moving down past 3. You are tuned in to the nation station, your Anniversary Radio DBS, as we stand by to bring you live coverage of the DBS Radio Ministry of Education National Reading Competition from the Bense Primary School. It's my understanding that the folks over there at Bense were waiting for the arrival of a few of the students who are set to take part in this afternoon's competition. It's my understanding that the students are just arriving. So I'm sure we'll be getting started with the DBS Radio Ministry of Education National Reading Competition in just a short while. So don't you dare touch this dial. Remember, when the competition gets underway, you can join us on the DBS Facebook page as well as our YouTube page. Just search DBS Radio.
Yes, Hazari, once you're ready, please come across. Thank you.
Oh my. I think I need to find some time to give you guys a little bit of Dean Fraser whenever I'm on Weekday Rendezvous. Oh my. It's now 4 minutes moving down past 3, and it seems they are ready for us over there at Bense. So without further ado, we go across to the Bense Primary School to bring you live coverage of the DBS Radio Ministry of Education National Reading Competition. At this time, we say bon après-midi to Amelia Joseph Dennis.
Bon après-midi, Hazari. Bon après-midi, tout le monde qui a écouté Radio DBS à présent, avec tout le monde qui a suivi nos live sur Facebook et puis YouTube. Bienvenue à deuxième jour pour une compétition pour lire organisée par Radio DBS en collaboration et puis Ministry pour Affaires Éducation. Good afternoon. Welcome to day 2 of the first round of the reading competition organized by DBS Radio in collaboration with the Ministry of Education. It's indeed a pleasure to be here in the beautiful community on the hill, as I like to call it, so the community of Bense. Of course, there is this beautiful ocean view. I just wish that we would be able to get a little bit more air coming from the sea, but that will come in, I think, at some point. However, we are here in the beautiful Bense Primary School, and we want to thank, of course, the staff here and, of course, the principal, Davina Jipini, for allowing us to present day 2 of this reading competition. Mrs. Jipini, thank you so much. We'll give a little bit more detail on the history of Bense Primary School as we go along. So you know what is already Laujata Onipu Gozakopan. Bakoban. Alright, so we're already late, so we just go straight into the action. So we'll of course ask you to stand as we sing the national anthem of the Commonwealth of Dominica. We'll go with the first stanza. I lead and you will follow. Tampo Suple, please follow. Alright? I love beauty. I love splendor, to all so sweet and fair. All must surely gaze in wonder at thy gifts so rich and rare. Rivers, valleys, hills, and mountains, all the skills we do extol. Healthy land so like all fountains, giving cheer that warms the soul. I know you guys, especially you folks from Bense, you have a good long power, so we could just go into that, right? All right, I ask that you remain standing as I invite Mrs. Wendy Charles to lead us in prayer here this afternoon.
Let us pray. Eternal Father, we want to thank you for the blessings of the day thus far. We want to thank you for the opportunity that we have where we can come to Bense, dear Lord, to listen to the students. I pray for each and every student that will be reading today. I pray that you will give them boldness. I pray that you will give them bravery. I pray that you will give them confidence, dear Lord. Help them to do their best, dear Lord, and you will do the rest for them. I pray for each and every one of us that is here. I pray that you will give us a blessing today. In Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen. Please be seated. We'll now call on the coordinator for the DBS Radio Ministry of Education Reading Competition, Ms. Kimarito, to officially welcome us here this afternoon.
Thank you so much, Milia. Good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon to our listeners, our viewers on our Facebook and YouTube page of DBS Radio, to the students who brought us here this afternoon at the Bense Primary School, to the teachers and parents, everyone, our judges here this afternoon, good afternoon. I do hope that everyone will enjoy the competition today like we did yesterday. Again, as I said yesterday, this year, we have the DBS Radio Ministry of Education National Reading Competition on. Of course, it was there was no competition last year. We all know why, the COVID-19 pandemic. And if you look around that, you know, we are trying our best as an institution that educates and informs our listeners that we should adhere to all the COVID-19 protocols. The DBS Radio is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year, and we saw it fit to go on with the reading competition. and as well as doing it in commemoration of the late Felix Henderson, who was the mastermind behind this reading competition, who saw that reading is so important. So I do want to wish all the students, the 9 students here today, all the best, and put your best foot forward, read, take your time, and everything will be all right. Parents, you have done a great job to bringing them here thus far. The schools, the teachers, and their friends played a part of them being here today. So all the best to the students, and of course I'll be back later on just to go through the rules and the rubric for the judges. So good afternoon and enjoy the competition.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ito. And now we'll move across to welcome to the podium a representative from the Ministry of Education. We now call on Lois Bristol.
Good afternoon to all judges, students, teachers, parents, supporters, listeners. It's indeed a very honorable activity. Internationally, we are aware that there's much emphasis being placed on students being numerate and literate. And what we want is not just for students to be literate, but for them to enjoy reading. I want to encourage you students this afternoon to showcase your skills. Writing and reading are those areas in literacy that show how efficient you are in the language arts. And so we are looking forward to an excellent, excellent showcase of your abilities this afternoon. And we are going to sit and enjoy just what you have to offer. Thank you, DBS, for continuing this trend. And even as we read for Felix, let us not just read for a tradition, but let us do it in honor of the efforts of our students, of our schools, as we make them functional citizens.
You know, thank you, because I was wondering at what point you all were going to wake up, because I thought you were not there. Hey, but thank you for that. All right, and so I'll take this opportunity to present to you who our judges are, who will be judging this competition this afternoon. So for those of you who are in the audience, towards your extreme left, we have Miss Linola Charles, who is a past teacher at the Goodwill Primary School. Let's make Miss Charles feel welcome. We have Miss Carol Fontaine, center stage this afternoon, who also is a past teacher at the Goodwill Primary School and the Newtown Primary School. And towards the far end, we have Miss Cynthia Joseph. We thank Miss Joseph for being our judge here this afternoon. Let's make them once again feel welcome. I will take this opportunity too to introduce to you who our students are. So when I call your name, for those who do not know you, will have to stand. So we have Kezia Andrew representing the Woodford Hill Primary School. Keziah. We have Charis Bethelmy representing the Wesley Primary School. Thank you. Ellis Charles representing the W.S. Stephen Primary School. Naomi Charles representing the Baroness Patricia Scotland Primary School. Neela Thomas representing Thibault Primary School. Shamina Lee representing Temple SDA Primary School. Kia Roberts representing the Penville Primary. Kila Fabian representing Calibishi Primary. And Kaila Marcel representing the Bense Primary School. All right, so these will be our 9 participants here this afternoon. Again, please allow them to read in comfort. So I urge you, especially in the audience, and I'm happy, well, in that sense, it's not a big audience, you know. So you'll allow them to read and for you to remain as quiet as you possibly can. Or now you can turn off your cell phones or put them on vibrate or silent so you not disturb any of the students while they are reading. So we'll go back to the rules because you need to know the rules. So we'll call back on Mrs. Ito. Miss Ito. I'm sorry, Mrs. Ito. Miss Ito.
I receive it in Jesus' name. All right, so for the rules of the competition. The competition is open to grades 3, 4, and 5 students who would not have reached 10 years of age by November 1, 2021. Students will be judged based on the attached rubric, which I'll read in a while. There will be 3 rounds of competition. Each round, student will be expected to read a narrative, a news item, and a sports item. The top 30 students from round 1 will advance to round 2. The top 30 will be determined by overall score and will be announced at the end of the round. That's after all 6 groups have participated. The top 18 students from round 2 will advance to the semi-final round after all 3 groups have completed. The top 10 students from round 3 will advance to the finals. So after today, the judges will give their scores. They will announce the top 5 for the day. However, the top 30 after all 6 groups have participated, the top 30 will make it to round 2. So it will be based on your scores. The rubric. Were all words read accurately? Now, these are the things that the judges will be looking for in the 3 rounds of competition. Were all words read accurately? Were phrases read effectively as one unit? Was punctuation interpreted correctly? Were all words pronounced distinctly? Were keywords emphasized? Was mood or feeling conveyed effectively? Was volume used effectively? Was pitch used effectively? Was the selection read at an appropriate rate for audience and purpose? Did the student appear relaxed, confident, and able to recover quickly if a mistake was made? So these are what the judges will be looking for. Again, the rounds, 3 rounds. The first round will be the narrative. The second round, the news, and the third round, the sports.
All right. This is the part that I like. This is where action begins. Some of you more of us are sitting there, you know. I know that. I can see you not even comfortable in your own seats. But it's not you, it's up to them. They're not even nervous. So what we will do, we'll allow you students to take just a quick second, allow you to stand, because I want you to be relaxed. Come on. 9 of you, please stand. Make a little spin around your chair for just a quick while, just a quick second around your chair. It could be around your chair or in your own space. Not to do the all yourself. No, Papa, what they talk? No, they. That's fine. Thank you. Hands up. Let's go. Stretch to the sky. Come on, touch the sky. You have the opportunity to touch it. You would have to touch it today. Touch, touch. Hands out. Come on now. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Come on. In. Out. Let's go. In and out. Hands up again. Hands out. In. Down. All right. You're ready? No. Let's try that. I'm not taking off the mic, but I want to hear you. Are you guys ready? Yes. All right. Those in the audience, are you ready? Yes. All right. A bit more power, okay? So please be seated, and we are ready to rumble. Yes, so our first round here this afternoon, the students will read a narrative round. Of course, let me just inform you, if in case you did not know, our judges have the reading material that each and every one of the students will be reading, so they'll be able to follow. I know we would like to judge, but unfortunately we have 3 of them here already this afternoon, so they will know where the students would have made an error, missed a punctuation, they would have skipped a line, and so on and so forth. Sometimes they sound so good, but the judges will definitely know. All right? So we're ready for action. All right? However, I'd like to take this opportunity to, just to acknowledge our sponsors before we go into round 1.
The DBS Radio, Ministry of Education, National Reading Competition is brought to listeners, complements the Central Cooperative Credit Union Limited, Own more shares. Get more benefits. Let's grow our credit union together. National Bank of Dominica, your partner, your bank. National Cooperative Credit Union, one big family. Jay's Bookstore, your supplier for books, greeting cards and furniture. Carlton Phillips Motor Pool, drive in and get the world of vehicle parts. APP Electrical, we do better. OT Trucking, OT at your fingertips for safer trucking services. Springfield Trading Limited, quality is everything. LaFalle's Lab, quality and confidentiality. Auto Depot Limited, when you can't find it, we have got it. AC Shillingford and Company Limited, spend less, get more. Crispies, tasty. 8 Bank, fulfilling our role in the development of a resilient Dominica. West Coast Cooperative Credit Union, most credible choice. Fort Young Hotel, Ocean Edge, Garaway Enterprises, Jungle Bay Resort, the Grand Bay Cooperative Credit Union Limited, Fox's Bread Depot, The Sign Man, a business without a sign is a sign of no business. Fine Foods Distributors, the biggest distributors of the biggest brands. 50th Anniversary Radio DBS. We say a big thank you to all our sponsors. We are reading for Felix. We are reading. Reading makes us smart.
Yes, and we say thank you to Mrs. Luge for allowing us to, honor our partners and our sponsors. So, we ready? Our students are ready. So we are moving into round 1 for this afternoon. Again, it's the narrative round. The students will all be giving a different material, of course, to read. And so our first presenter here this afternoon from the Woodford Hill Primary, let's make Keziah Andrew feel welcome.
Jenny had a hole in her pocket. "Brother," she said, "I believe my rubber have slipped through it." "Well, mend it there," said her mother. "You know how to mend a hole." But Jenny couldn't be bothered. She wanted to go out and play. So out she went, and when she went to bed that night, the hole was still in her pocket. Now the next day her Uncle George came to see her mother, and he gave Jenny a bright new 20 pence. It shone so brightly that Jenny was sure it could only have been made the day before. "I shall buy that tiny doll I saw in the toy shop window," she said. I want her for my dollhouse. She's just the right size." But when she got to the toy shop, the money wasn't in her pocket. She felt for it, but all she found was the hole, just a little bigger now. She ran home crying, "Oh, Mommy, I've lost my bright new 20 pence. It was so beautiful. It's fallen through that hole in my pocket." "But I told you to mend it," said Mommy. "It's your own fault, Jenny." "I do have bad luck," wept Jenny. "I really do." "You bring your bad luck on yourself," said Mommy. "If you have had mended the hole, you wouldn't have had this bad luck. What about trying things go? What about trying to bring a little good luck and mending the hole now? You know what I always tell you, things go wrong if you yourself are silly, and they go right when you yourself try to do right. I can't mend it, wept Jenny. I've left my work basket at school. Then go fetch it, said Mommy. I've told you not to leave it there. Jenny dried her eyes. Perhaps she had better go fetch it, though school was quite a long way off. She really must mend that hole. She set off, and Mommy was pleased. That's a good girl. I like it when you are sensible and try to put things right, Jenny. Jenny got her little work basket and set off home. She hadn't gone very far before she heard someone crying.
Keziah Matthew from the Woodford Hill Primary School. Keziah Andrew. I should have known because there's a lot of Andrews in Woodford Hill. Keziah Andrew. She is 8 years of age and she's currently in grade 4. Her favorite subject is mathematics. She enjoys reading and watching movies. She would like to become a doctor. I took the opportunity to ask Keziah why. In her own words, she said, Woodford Hill are doctors. So she would like to become a doctor. So good luck to you, Keziah. Good luck to you. When we hear we're just allowing the judges to tally, yeah, folks? So when you hear me speak, it's not because I just want to speak, you know, although I like to speak. But so when you hear the story of Jenny and her shining coin, how much she cherished it, that's what happens when you cherish something too much. But Dominica have a lot of Jennies when it comes to new money, not true? And new money come out, we don't want to use the $5 again. You want to hold it, mais they say it can circulate, it will come back to you. All right? So don't be a Jenny, man. Let the money flow, let the money roll. All right, so we're moving on to our second reader here this afternoon from the Wesley Primary School, Charis Bethelme.
She ran to see who it was. It was little Molly. She had tried to get some berries from the hedge and had torn her fork badly. My mother will scold me, she wept. Look, shall I mend the tear for you? Said Jenny. It just happens that I've got my little work basket with me. Let me mend the tear. I can mend very neatly. Molly dried her eyes and watched Jenny sewing the hole up very neatly. Oh, how kind you are, she said. Now my mother won't mind nearly so much. The hole hardly shows at all. There you are, said Jenny, breaking off her thread. That's finished. Molly pressed a lovely red ball into Jenny's hands. Thank you, she said. Take my ball, please, Jenny. It's just to show you how pleased I am. But I've got plenty of balls, said Jenny. No, you keep yours, Molly. Molly looked as if she was going to cry again. No, no, I want you to have it, she said. You're so kind. So Jenny took it and skipped off home again. But just round the corner, she came across Johnny White looking up at a tree and jumping up as high as he could. Somebody's thrown my new cap up there, he said. Can you reach it, Jenny? I'll get in an awful row at school if I go without it. Jenny couldn't jump high enough to reach it either, but she had a very good idea. She took the ball that Molly had given to her and threw it at the cap. She missed it and the ball bounced down. She threw it again and it hit the cap, and down came both cap and ball. "Goodness, you are clever," said Johnny. "Thank you most awfully, Jenny. Come and see my white mice. You will." She went in to see his white mice. He had some beauties. Jenny loved them. He suddenly picked one up and put it into her hand. "You can have it," he said. "That's for getting my cap back for me."
Charis Barthelemy from the Wesley Primary School. Charis is 8 years of age and she is currently in grade 3. Her favorite subject is mathematics. One of the things that she enjoys most is to help her mom to do her chores. She would like to become a nurse in order to help sick people. Give it up one more time for Charis Barthelemy of the Woodford Hill Primary School. I'm sorry. Hey, I'll have to get it right. From the Wesley Primary School, Charis. All right. So we are listening here to the story of Jenny. Jenny seemed to be quite lucky in one sense. So by the time Jenny gets home, he'll have mice, he'll have ball, he'll have, just name it. Jenny will be quite happy with, along with his, hopefully, his shining coin. Judges, are we ready? I believe they are. And so we call on our third participant from the W.S. Stephen Primary School, Ellis Charles.
"Oh no, I don't want anything." "Yes, take it," said Johnny. "Well, you have this ball in exchange then," said Jenny. So Johnny took the ball and Jenny took the mouse. She popped the little thing into her work basket and set off home again. But she hadn't gone far before she remembered how afraid her mother was of mice. Gracious! It would never do to take it home. Her mother would be frightened and angry. Oh dear! Jenny opened the work basket and took a peep at the mouse. It put its little woofly nose up at her. A boy came to look, and he stroked the tiny little thing. "It's a beauty," he said. "I wish it was mine. I'll give you 20 pence for it. Will you sell it? It's the very nicest mouse I ever saw." "Yes, you can have it for 20 pence, said Jenny, delighted. "I love it, too, but I'm sure my mother won't let me keep it." The boy put his hand into his pocket and pulled out 20 pence. "I found it today," he said. "Wasn't I lucky? It's very bright and shining and new." "Why, it's the one I lost out of the hole in my pocket," cried Jenny joyfully. "It must be. It's so bright and new. Here, take the mouse. I'll run home and tell Mommy all about it." She took the 20 pence and ran home. "Mommy!" she called.
I've got my 20 pence back. She told her mother all about it and how Mommy laughed. Well, well, what a lot of happenings, all leading up to your 20 pence again. Now, I suppose you'll be off to the toy shop to buy that little doll after all. Oh, yes, said Jenny, and she slipped the coin into her pocket, and it fell through the hole and rolled on the floor. Oh, she said and went very red. I must mend that hole first, mustn't I? And down she sat and mended it. If a thing's got to be done, it had better be done at once, said Jenny.
All right, Ellis Charles from the WS7 Primary School. Jenny is a lucky soul, I tell you. Some of us, the idea of lucky pence we had was when we would find, the coins on the road and we'll take steal. We were so happy to get a coin. But we would take them, pick them up a quart. The long time, those big 50 cents and those halfpennies, we'd take if we get steel, if you're lucky enough to get steel, but pache cocoa and all of that stuff with sand, scrub that down. And that was the shining coin we would have. That was our idea of having a shiny coin. But lucky for Jenny, her mom would have given her a lucky coin. So that was, of course, Ellis Charles from the W.S. Stephen Primary. She is 9 years of age, currently in grade 4. Her favorite subject is the English language. Her hobbies, gymnastics. She enjoys especially doing the cartwheel. She would like to become a neurosurgeon. Ellis says she is fascinated by how the brain works, and so she would like to work on the brain herself. Ellis Charles, W.S. Stephen Primary School. Give it up for her one more time. All right, so we're moving on nicely as we move to the Baroness Patricia Scotland Primary School. Let's welcome Naomi Charles. Naomi.
Mr. Pinkwhistle had been to see an old friend of his and had just said goodbye. I must catch the bus, he said. I shall be late for dinner if I don't, and Sooty, my cat, won't be very pleased. But just as he reached the corner where the bus stop was, he saw the bus rumbling away down the road. He had missed it. Never mind. I'll buy some sandwiches and go and eat them in this park, he thought, and off he went to get some tomato and sardine sandwiches. Then he made his way to the park. He sat down on a seat. It was sunny and warm, and Mr. Pinkwhistle felt happy. He sat there eating the sandwiches, throwing crumbs to the sparrows, and then he felt sleepy. He closed his eyes and nodded a little. Soon he was dreaming, and in his dream he heard someone crying. Don't, he heard, and woke up with a jump. A little girl was coming down the path with tears running down her cheeks. Mr. Pinkwhistle sat up straight at once. Was there something here that he could put right? Hello, said Mr. Pinkwhistle as the little girl came by. What's wrong? He's taken my biscuits, said the little girl, and he's eaten them. Dear me, who has? Said Mr. Pinkwhistle, wishing that he hadn't eaten all his sandwiches so that he could offer the little girl some. That boy, the boy who rushes out at us, said the little girl, crying again. I I don't know his name. He hides in the bushes while we're playing and then rushes out and takes our things. There's another boy. Too. This morning, they took Fred's ball and Nola's balloon. Look, here's a sixpenny bit to buy some more biscuits, said Mr. Pink Whistle. Don't cry anymore. I'll see to these boys. Oh, thank you, said the small girl, and she scrubbed her wet cheeks with her hanky. They're up there, look, by the children's playground. But you better be careful. They might knock off your hat and run away with it. Good gracious me, said Mr. Pink Whistle, astonished. He thought he would go over to the children's playground and watch for these two boys. I'll make myself invisible.
Charles, representing the Baroness Patricia Scotland Primary School. I never understand the fascination with cats. People just love cats. I mean, you can have a cat, but I don't, the fascination. Somebody in the audience probably would disagree with me, but I don't get the fascination. I mean, I can appreciate a cat as a pet, but the extent at which we have cats, that's another subject. So that was young Charles. She's 9 years of age, currently in grade 4. Her favorite subject is mathematics. She enjoys drawing and dancing. She too would like to become a doctor. However, she has a different fascination. As a matter of fact, she'd like to become a cardiologist. She want to help people get better, especially when it comes to the heart. I spoke with Miss Charles a little earlier, and she said to me she has already been doing her research as to what it takes to become a cardiologist. One of the things she said, she's fascinated by the heartbeat, to know that the heart can pump up to 2,000 gallons of blood a day. She did her research, folks? I did not know that. I did not know that. All right, so let's give it up one more time for Naomi Charles. All right, and so we're moving to our next participant, Nila Thomas, representing the Tebow Primary School.
Then there won't be any change of my heart behind knocking off. So that's the kind of boys they are. Certainly when someone to deal with them. He muttered a few magic words under his breath, and presto, he was gone. Not a bit of him was to be seen. He was quite invisible. He set off on the path towards the children's playground, listening to the calls and shouts that came from there. It sounded as if quite a lot of children were playing games. He came to a seat just by the playground and sat down. There were swings and seesaws there. There were children playing with bats and balls. There was even a pond where some were sailing the little boats. Pink whistled watch. He couldn't see any bad boys at all. Everyone seemed to be playing happily. Then he saw a boy coming up to the path to go to the pond, carrying a fine little ship with a sail. Pink whistled was watching him when they came out a rustle in the bushes. Just behind him, just behind him, and out leaped a big boy, making Pink Whistle jump almost out of his skin. He pushed a small boy over, snatched his sheep, and leaped back into the bushes. Here was a sound of giggling and whispering, and Pink Whistle guessed the sound. Guess the sound. Guess the second boy was there too. There, the other boy sat up, buzzed, for he had knocked his head hard on the path. "Where's my sheep?" he shouted. "Give it back." But nobody came to give it back, and went mournfully to the playground, looking everywhere for someone with his sheep. Then came out two boys from the bushes, nudging one another and giggling. One of them had the sheep. Then they walked doubly over to the pond and set the boat on the water. The boy who owned the sheep came up at once. "That's mine," he said. "You snatched it from me just now. You give it back." "Oh, you fibber, it's yours," said the two boys together. You just try and get it from us. We'll knock you over." "I bet you took his sheep," cried a small girl with a pram. "You took my brother's cap the other day. I saw you."
All right. Nila Thomas from the Tebow Primary School. Let's say a special good afternoon to the folks up there in Tebow who are always tuned in to the nation station DBS Radio as we continue, of course, to celebrate 50 years as an institution. Of course, we urge you to join us in our celebration as we continue. We will be, of course, presenting a few community outreach. Most of you would have heard of what happened in Castlebruce. I'm sure some of you are eager to have your share. We'll see how that works. Maybe we'll come back in Bense. You never know. But we'll see. We'll see. So that was Nila Thomas, who is 9 years of age in grade 3. Favorite subject is the English language. She enjoys composition. Her hobbies include drawing and reading, also singing. She would like to become a veterinarian. The reason for that, she says, her daddy has a lot of animals, especially pigs. So sometimes her dad comes home and complains that the pigs could be ill. So she too would like to help her dad in rescuing or allowing the pigs to become better. And so she'll want to become a vet to help her daddy animals get better. So Nila Thomas here, ladies and gentlemen, from the Tebow Primary School. And we move to the Temple SDA Primary. We now call on Shamina Lee.
One of the big boys reached over to the pram, took up the doll that sat there and threw it into the water. Splash! The little girl screamed, but nobody dared to do anything to the two big boys. Another boy waded into the water and brought back the doll for the girl. But just as he handed it to her, the second big boy snatched it, and once again the poor doll was thrown into the water. And then, to Pink Whistle's delight, up came the park keeper. Now, he said, What's all this? Are you making nuisances of yourself again, you boys? Clear off at once. The park keeper was a little man, and the two boys laughed at him. One gave him a push that almost sent him into the pond, and the other knocked off his big cap. All the children watched in silence. Now then, you stop that! I'll report you, shouted the little park keeper angrily. Get my cap. Get it yourself, said one of the boys. Report us. Why, you don't even know our names. The park keeper ran at him, but the boy dodged and took to his heels, followed by his friend. They could run fast, and they disappeared round the bushes at top speed. They've not gone home, said another boy. I bet they're waiting till the park keeper's gone. Then they'll be here again. I wish a policeman would come. The park keeper went off, fuming with rage, and the children began to play again. Pink Whistle kept a careful watch. Were those bad boys anyone near? He hoped so. He was going to have a bit of fun with them. Yes, they were there in those bushes. Ah, here they come, giggling and pushing one another. They ran at a boy with a cricket bat and pulled it out of his hands. They took a ball from someone else and began to have a game. If anyone came near, they swept at him with the bat. Pink Whistle got up. He was still invisible, and he walked among the children unseen. He went up to the big boy with the bat and twisted it out of his hand. The boy stared in amazement. Here, who took my bat? Hey, what's happening?
All right, and that was Shamina Lee from the Temple SDA Primary. We probably could all attest to the fact that there would be some nuisances like that in our villages, not true? We know the little boys who are just so troublesome that every chance they get, they'll be harassing to some extent somebody, especially the elderly. They don't know that again, not true? Because I know in my time it was a pleasure to be, I wouldn't say harassing, but it was a pleasure to see how the older folks would react to our, what do you call it? Harassment, yes, for lack of a better term, hélas. we took pleasure. I'm not sure why it was pleasurable, but we took pleasure in harassing the elder folks, you know, and then especially the older ladies, my goodness, all of them were Sukuyan, so you know. So that was Shamina Lee, who is 9 years of age. She is in grade 4. Her favorite subject is mathematics. Shamina is passionate about drawing, and so she would like to become an artist. One more time for Shamina Lee. And so we move up to the Penville Primary School. Let's welcome Kia Roberts.
Pink Whistle was holding the bat, but as he was invisible, it looked just as if the bat were hanging by itself in the air. Pink Whistle raised it and gave the boy a smart rap behind with it. The boy yelled. Then Pink Whistle snatched off the boy's cap and ran away with it. It looked strange to see a cap bobbing along by itself in the air. Pink Whistle put it on the head of the little statue on the water fountain. How strange it was to see a cap put itself there. Nobody could see Pink Whistle. Of course, the little man went back to the two surprised boys. He undid the tie belonging to the second boy
And dear me, away went that tie through the air, too, blowing in the wind as Pink Whistle carried it in his hands. He tied it up in a bush. "Here, what's happening?" cried the two boys, beginning to be scared. "Let's take a ship and go home." But now the invisible Pink Whistle was back again and took the ship himself, right out of the hand of one of the big boys. He walked over to the boy who owned it and put it into his hand. It looked exactly as if the boat had flown by itself through the air to its owner. The two boys began to run, but Pink Whistle ran too. He caught each of them by their belts, and down they went. They were bruised, and one burst into sobs. As the boy sat there, Pink Whistle undid his shoes and slid them off, and to everyone's amazement, the shoes appeared to trot through the air all by themselves. "My shoes!" yelled the boy. "Look, my shoes!" The invisible Pink Whistle threw them into the pond. Splash, splash! They sank at once. "Oh, good! That's what those boys did to my doll," cried the girl with the pram. Everyone began to laugh. They pointed at the two boys, who had now got up from the ground. "It serves you right! It serves you right!" they cried. One of the big boys lost his temper and rushed at a boy playing with a ball. He kicked it right out of his hands and went into a tree.
All right, and that was Kia Roberts from the Penville Primary School. Kia is 9 years of age, currently in grade 3. Her favorite subject is mathematics because she enjoys comparing and contrasting, and she has a love for fractions. Her hobbies is to help her mommy clean and to cook. Her favorite dish to prepare is mac and cheese. She would like to become a nurse to take care of people who are sick and to, of course, make them feel better. One more time for Kia Roberts. And so we move on to the Calabishi Primary School. Let's make Killer Fabian feel welcome.
"That's my new ball!" yelled the little boy. "I'll get it for you!" cried a voice that seemed to come from nowhere. "Go on, you big bully! Climb the trees and get the ball!" And the invisible Mr. Pink Whistle ran the big boy to the tree, caught hold of him by his shorts, and jerked him up. The boy, yelling with fright, found himself forced to climb up and get the ball. A circle of angry children closed round the bottom of the tree. What a chance to give him back some of the beefs he gave us! He cried, "Come on, bully, climb down. See what will happen to you then." The big boy yelled to his friend, "Come and help me. Come on." But his friend was no longer there. He had run off at top speed, scared of all these queer happenings. The first boy climbed back into the tree and sat up there, shivering with fright, looking down at the children waiting for him. Was all this a horrid dream? The children whispered. Can it be Mr. Pink Whistle doing all this? You know, it might be. The children stared at one another and then looked all around. But they couldn't see him, of course. Please, if you're here, let us see you, cried the little girl with the pram. We'll know all about you. Pink Whistle muttered the magic words that made him become visible again. The children crowded round him in joy. You always put things right, don't you? You did give those boys a fright. Mr. Pink Whistle smiled. He saw an ice cream man coming along. Ice cream for everyone, please, he said. The boy up the tree sat listening in amazement. Goodness, to think he had been behaving so badly. He felt ashamed and afraid. He began to slide gently down the tree, hoping to creep away unseen and go home. But he suddenly saw something at the bottom of the tree and stopped. It was a dog. One of the small boys had placed his toy dog there while he went to eat his ice cream. And will you believe it? He forgot all about it and left it there. At the foot of the tree, the scared boy up the tree was left alone, guarded by a toy dog.
All right, and that was Kayla Fabian from the Calibishi Primary School. She is 9 years of age in grade 4. Her favorite subject is mathematics. She enjoys playing netball. She would like to become a doctor, especially a pediatrician. Fabian says she's taking her studies quite seriously. In fact, she's already started studying to become a pediatrician. One more time for Miss Fabian. So you see, we have good things happening in Dominica, you know. All the doctors here this afternoon start studying. That's good. We're not waiting till we reach 17, 18 and to go into college and university. We're studying now because I understood it's a lot of work, many years, you know, to become a doctor. And if you can start at the age of 9 and 8, as a me-doctor, Dominic. That's good, that's good, that's good. All right, so we're moving on to our last participant in this first round. From the Bense Primary School, Keila Marcel.
Mr. Twiddles sat in his chair reading the newspaper. Mr. Twiddle sat by knitting. Click, click, click went her needles. Mr. Twiddle sniffed. Mrs. Twiddle didn't say anything, but she looked at him. He sniffed again. "Don't," said Mrs. Twiddle. "Where's your hanky, Twiddle?" "Don't know," said Twiddle, and sniffed again. "But I gave you a clean one this morning," said Mrs. Twiddle. "It must be in our pocket." "Well, it's not," said Twiddle. "I've looked. I must have lost it when I went out for a walk. I remember taking it taken it out once, but I don't remember putting it back into my pocket again. Now I shall have to give you another hanky, groaned Mrs. Twiddle. Anyone would think I was made of hankies. No, they wouldn't, love, said Twiddle, looking at his plump little wife. Twiddle, I shall have to do something about your hankies, said Mrs. Twiddle, knitting very quickly, as she always did when she was cross. You've lost 5 this week. 5. Oh, no, dear, said Twiddle. Oh, yes, Mr. Twiddle, said Mrs. Twiddle, and she rattled her needles loudly. 5. It's got to stop. Next time you go out, I shall pin your hanky inside your umbrella. Then you won't be able to lose it. But it will be awfully difficult to blow my nose if my hanky is pinned inside my umbrella, said Twiddle. No, it won't. You can put your umbrella up and the hanky will unfold and fall down to your nose, said Mrs. Twiddle. You won't be able to leave it behind because it will be pinned to your umbrella. When you've used it, you can't just fold up your umbrella and put it down again. But have I got to put my umbrella up every time I want to blow my nose, said Twiddle, alarmed. Yes, said Mrs. Twiddle. Then perhaps you will learn not to lose your hankies. She was as good as her word. Next time, poor Twiddle went out. Mrs. Twiddle pinned his hanky firmly to the inside of his big umbrella. There, she said. Now you just can't help bringing your hanky home.
All right, and that was Keila Marcel from the Bense Primary School. And yes, there would have been plenty of us who would have had the experience or would have witnessed children suffering like Twiddle. You know, back then, people used to make sure everybody know you have a cold. When you have a cold, your handkerchief was in your neck, especially when in school. They put in the handkerchief pin to your collar, or sometimes a big face towel. And everybody know you have to blow your nose. But that could be embarrassing. And thank God for Thank God for COVID-19, so we cannot do those things again. We have to be a little more practical. Let me just acknowledge the folks tuned in via Facebook and YouTube. It's a pleasure to have you. Of course, we are here live in the Bense Primary School, bringing you day 2 of round 1 of competition of the DBS Radio Ministry of Education reading competition. As this year, we are reading for Felix. And now we'll take this opportunity to acknowledge our sponsors.
The DBS Radio Ministry of Education National Reading Competition is brought to listeners, compliments the Central Cooperative Credit Union Limited. Own more shares, get more benefits. Let's grow our credit union together. National Bank of Dominica, your partner, your bank. National Cooperative Credit Union, one big family. Jay's Bookstore, your supplier for books, greeting cards and furniture. Carlton Phillips Motor Pool, drive in and get the world of vehicle parts. APP Electrical, we do better. OT Trucking, OT at your fingertips for safer trucking services. Springfield Trading Limited, quality is everything. Lafalle's Lab, quality and confidentiality. Auto Depot Limited, when you can't find it, we have got it. AC Shillingford and Company Limited, spend less, get more. Crispies, tasty. Aid Bank, fulfilling our role in the development of a resilient Dominica. West Coast Cooperative Credit Union, most credible choice. Fort Young Hotel, Ocean Edge, Garaway Enterprises, Jungle Bay Resort, the Grand Bay Cooperative Credit Union Limited, Fox's Bread Depot, The Signman, a business without a sign is a sign of no business. Fine Foods Distributors, the biggest distributors of the biggest brands. 50th Anniversary Radio DBS. We say a big thank you to all our sponsors. We are reading for Felix. We are reading. Reading makes us smart. The DBS Radio Ministry of Education National Reading Competition is brought to listeners, compliments the Central Cooperative Credit Union Limited. Own more shares, get more benefits. Let's grow our credit union together. National Bank of Dominica, your partner, your bank. National Cooperative Credit Union, one big family. Jay's Bookstore, your supplier for books, greeting cards and furniture. Carlton Phillips Motor Pool, drive in and get the world of vehicle parts. APP Electrical, we do better. OT Trucking, OT at your fingertips for safer trucking services. Springfield Trading Limited, quality is everything. Lafalle's Lab, quality and confidentiality. Auto Depot Limited, when you can't find it, we have got it. AC Shillingford and Company Limited, spend less, get more. Crispies, tasty. Aid Bank, fulfilling our role in the development of a resilient Dominica. West Coast Cooperative Credit Union, most credible choice. Fort Young Hotel, Ocean Edge, Garaway Enterprises, Jungle Bay Resort, the Grand Bay Cooperative Credit Union Limited, Fox's Bread Depot, The Signman, a business without a sign is a sign of no business. Fine Foods Distributors, the biggest distributors of the biggest brands. 50th Anniversary Radio DBS. We say a big thank you to all our sponsors. We are reading for Felix. We are reading. Reading makes us smart.
All right, we say thank you to Ivona John Baptist Luge once again for acknowledging our sponsors. We are here live, ladies and gentlemen, and those of you who are listening at the Bense Primary School, which opened its doors back in 1963 by Mrs. A. Leblanc. The Bense Primary School is currently headed by Miss Davina Dupini. She is currently the principal here, with 7 staff members. The school has a population of 42 pupils from grade K to grade 6. Just recently, the school made it to the semi-finals of the National Primary School Football Competition. So we want to say thank you once again to the Bense Primary School for allowing us to have this leg of the competition for the Northern District. It's a pleasure to always be on the countryside. I spoke earlier about, the sea view, and I'm now feeling in the breeze. I'm not sure if it's from the sea or wherever, but it's a cool breeze coming in here at the Bense Primary School. So we're just preparing for the second round of competition for the sake of our listeners. Those who are viewing can see what's happening, of course. But for those of you who are listening, our students are now going through the reading material, and they're being assisted by Kimara Ito alongside Anadil Jacob, who will assist the students in any difficulty that they may be experiencing. If they may not be able to pronounce a particular word, they will be assisted in that regard, ensuring that we have fluidity when it comes to reading. So what I will do now, I will probably try to tickle the brains of the ones who are in the public. You know how it goes. There must be 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. Let's see who I can now challenge. So I will excuse myself from the podium for just a little while as I make myself through the small audience that we have here. Unfortunately, it's not a big one. We have quite a few people here, but unfortunately, the space that we have here is not able to accommodate so many, but we have people on the outside. So let's see if I can. I see you watching me under your eyes there, but I'm coming to you. That's what I love. When I start to say I'm coming wherever and you're trying to ignore me, and this is where I'm triggered. So I'm coming to you to trigger you now. As our students are going through the reading materials, let's see. We'll start with riddles, maybe then we'll go into a little story and all of that stuff, because maybe I'll ask 1 or 2 of you to read something for us. Now we're reading for Felix, and Felix was, of course, an advocate for literacy among the adults as well. So maybe I'll get the opportunity to maybe see, because I know a lot of all you sitting down there, that she don't, no, that she wanted to say and all that story, but Simo Bazam also Pape Puzoli, it will be a different story altogether. So let's see. How are you today?
I'm okay, thank you.
Are you from the Bense community?
Woodford Hill.
You're from Woodford Hill, so I know why you are here. This is a riddle for you. Why you watch my phone now? But they say you copy, no copy on my paper. All right. I think you saw what I was going to ask you. You think you saw something on my paper? No, okay. So let me, and for those of you who are there, please try your best to be silent, because we don't want to disturb the young ones who are going through their paper, as well as the lady who's trying to focus on the answer of the question I'm about to ask. How do you spell, sir, I can see you already. Stop. How do you spell cow in 13 letters? Let me ask you that question again. How do you spell cow in 13 letters? Go.
I don't know.
Mais comment ça c'est cow là, non? Ça pas cow. You want to try at least to think for quick. You want to give you a little second for you to think? Give you a second? Okay, 1 second gone. Let's go.
I don't.
Cow in 13 letters. So you know? Okay, you were trying to swing into English a while ago. So let's see. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Are you a teacher here?
I'm not a teacher here. I'm a teacher at the Baroness Patricia Scotland Primary.
Okay, so you will be accompanying the students representing that school. Do you think you know the answer to this question, this riddle?
It depends.
On what?
On if you're asking me.
I'm asking you.
Okay, well, I can spell cow in 13 letters. I can write 13 letters to 13 different people and write cow in each.
Jesus. So you want to write cow in 13 letters. So you're writing 13 letters to 13 different people in an envelope. So you're writing cow in each letter, in each envelope. But you will be spelling cow 13 times. You will not be spelling cow in 13 letters, but you'll be spelling cow 13 times.
In my defense, I'm spelling cow, C-O-W, in 13 letters, in 13 different letters. You didn't say whether it's letters as in A, B, or C. You said letters. Okay. So I spelled it in 13 different letters. 13 different one letter.
14 times 3 is 14, and you still spell it in 14 letters, and you put it in 13 different letters. I don't care what you say.
You can tell me what you want.
You're wrong. All right. So Let's see if I can try. One more person. Anybody want to volunteer? We have a brave person in the midst of us here. Not you, Miss Pau. Not you. No. Let's try this lady at the front. How do you spell cow in 13 different letters?
COWSEEDOUBLEUBLEUYOU.
That's correct. C, that is SEE, C. O, letter O. Double, DOUBLE. UYOU. COW. Well done, well done, well done. Oh, are we ready for round two? Yes, we are. You saw my paper, I don't worry if you know. Because my back was turned and my paper was at my back, so you saw that. But it's okay, it's okay. Thanks for taking part, nonetheless. All right, so we're moving on to round two, which is our news segment. The students will each be reading a news item that was once featured in the DBS news. As we know, we at DBS, we boast ourselves to present the most factual news on Ireland, in the Caribbean, in the OECS, and even in the world. Okay? So, whatever you hear there would be factual news. The students will be reading what would have been read already on DBS. You want to comment, of course, on our news desk, led by Curtis Matthew. Also, good afternoon to Leila Langford, Jaya Pending, Delma Semper, and our sports editor, who's currently on sporting duties, Gavin Richards. Okay, so we're ready. Second segment, round two, news item. We now call back to our news desk here this afternoon, Miss Keziah Andrew, representing the Woodford Hill Primary School.
DBS News.
Ministry of Tourism Dennis Charles is not ruling out the staging of the 2021 World Creole Music Festival. Dominica did not host the 2020 edition of the festival due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Charles says once Dominica reaches herd immunity, the World Creole Music Festival is on the cards. She says the onus is on the country's citizens to go out and get vaccinated against COVID-19. According to Charles, protocols will be put in place to ensure the safety of patrons if the festival is staged this year.
Right, Keziah Andrew, Woodford Hill Primary School. And yes, you would have heard recently that even the minister responsible for health, Dr. Irvin McIntyre, would have supported the call when he said that that is the, well, of course, they have not made a decision when it comes to staging of the 2021 Creole Music Festival. That would, of course, depend on us. No, mais bon temps. But we do not like to make sacrifices a lot of times. We want to have it all. But unfortunately, that's not how it works. If we want to enjoy the festival, we would have to, of course, reach herd immunity, which means that 70% of the country needs to be vaccinated before we can have all those bon temps. I know Anzim is a country by itself and Bense, but still, if we want to enjoy all what we used to enjoy before COVID-19, we would, of course, need to get vaccinated. And those of us who love the festival, you know what that means. All right, so we're moving on to our second participant in this afternoon's round two news item. Let's welcome from the Wesley Primary School, Charis Bethelme.
DBS News.
St. Kitts and Nevis is set to commence its COVID-19 vaccine program next week. Prime Minister Dr.
Timothy Harris is urging citizens and residents to take the vaccine when that time comes. Dr. Harris said by taking the vaccine, people are not only protecting themselves, but those around them. The St. Kitts leader further noted that the importance of taking the vaccine cannot be exaggerated. The Federation mass vaccination plan is expected to begin on Monday, February 22nd.
All right, Sharis Bethelme from the Wesley Primary School. And yes, vaccination would have commenced back in February in St. Kitts and Nevis. As a matter of fact, just recently they had a scare in the rise of cases of COVID-19, but we're hoping, people like me, we're praying, we're hoping, because CPL will be hosted in St. Kitts as of the 28th of August. So we cannot afford to have any scare in St. Kitts. And I'm sure there are many cricket fans in the entire Caribbean who would love for St. Kitts to be able to manage, the spread of COVID so we can see the hosting of the 2021 CPL. Yes. Participant number 3 from the WS, am I correct? WS Stevens Primary School, Ellis Charles.
DBS News.
A call has been made for a national effort in the fight against cancer. The call comes from the president of the Dominica Cancer Society, Yvonne Alexander. Dominica is today joining the rest of the world in observing World Cancer Day. The theme for this year is I Can, You Can. Alexander says the cancer fight should not only be left up to the Ministry of Health and the people who are affected.
All right, Ellis Charles, WS Stephen Primary School. What's the theme for this year, folks? We all can. We all can. We all can. Of course, we have to each play our part in fighting. Let me tell you something, Hélas, once upon a time, it was AIDS. We were scared of AIDS. And now, cancer has taken over, monsieur. But the funny thing about cancer is that we can control it, We can control it. Unlike the AIDS, like vis, it's nice and everything, but it is already the vis. But the cancer, you don't know what vis? First of all, you hear that? Okay, that's what the Creole does, Yes. But we all can play our part in, ensuring that we limit the spread. We have to keep ourselves healthy, we have to exercise and eat our food. May say, eat what we grow. Eat what we grow. All right? Okay, so we are moving on to the Baroness Patricia Scotland Primary School, Naomi Charles.
DBS News.
The Safe in Nature campaign is being expanded to attract more visitors to Dominica. The campaign is targeted at visitors to Dominica from high-risk countries. Tourism Minister Dennis Charles says the campaign has been meeting its objectives. She is calling on the guest house and hotels taking part in the campaign to adhere to the health and safety protocols. The Ministry of Tourism has also put in place a monitoring group to ensure the protocols are being followed.
Naomi Charles. from the Baroness Patricia Scotland Primary School. We are in a lot of talk about Dominica, not a real country. But I'll tell you something. COVID has shown us otherwise. This is a real country. Yes. And of course, we are promoting the Safe in Nature campaign. When everybody tried to run and they heard it about COVID, look at them, come to Dominica and work and enjoy yourself and feel free of fears of COVID. So we are a real country. Hey, Moka, preach. Hold it there. All right, so we're moving on nicely. So we're moving into our fifth participant here this afternoon, Nela Thomas from the Tebow Primary School.
DBS News.
An internship program is developed between DBS Radio and the Dominica State College. The program is intended for students pursuing a degree in mass communication at the college. They will be given the opportunity to enhance their skills at the national broadcaster. Minister with responsibility for the broadcasting, Senator Oscar George, says the program is of the great importance. He says DBS stands out as one of the frontliners in broadcasting.
Nela Thomas, Tebow Primary School, and yes, DBS Radio stands out as one of the most, if not the frontliner in broadcasting. This is why we are celebrating 50. 50. Can you imagine? You can't meet nobody at 50, you know, unless if you're 52. So we're moving. So yes, we stand out as the frontliner in broadcasting. And now we call on the representative from the Temple SDA Primary, Shamina Lee.
DBS News.
Minister for Telecommunications and Broadcasting, Senator Oscar George, says radio remains relevant. His remarks came at the official launch of the DBS 50th anniversary celebration at the Kalinago territory on Sunday. George says the national broadcaster has achieved a significant milestone and has delivered to the nation over the years. The minister stated that to this day, DBS continues to make valuable contributions to the growth and development of the country. He also commended the cadre of staff at DBS for their competence and experience as media professionals.
All right, Shamina Lee, Temple SDA Primary. Where you come back again, you know. Yes, as we mark 50 years as an institution, and we continue to show that broadcasting, especially radio, is relevant. I was having conversations with some people yesterday, and it was sad to hear what people had to say about radio. But we are seeing now, even in this competition, how important it is to know the news. Not true? Because even there now, some of you have not heard the stories that they read. It's about the news. My radio is still relevant. It is still important. Don't wait for when it's hurricanes is not involved to click to DBS, you know. We should always make an effort to keep listening to a radio, because of course that is one of the most efficient ways in disseminating information. So, We're moving on to the Penville Primary School. Let's welcome again Kia Roberts.
DBS News.
Dominica is set to announce changes to its COVID-19 protocols to facilitate fully vaccinated travelers. Prime Minister Bense says Cabinet met recently and have approved a number of recommendations from the Ministry of Health. Among the new protocols is how the country will deal with cruise ship passengers. Dominica has announced it will welcome back its first cruise ship to its shores in June. The quarantine period will also be significantly reduced for fully vaccinated travelers.
All right, Ms. Kia Roberts, Penville Primary, we are making progress. We are seeing folks getting vaccinated. We are seeing quarantine time being reduced for those who want to travel to Dominica. The quarantine time being reduced to 2 to 3 days once they are vaccinated and would desire to travel to Dominica. So we are moving on nicely with that COVID thing. You understand? Again, Dominica is a real place. Yes. Judges, are we ready? Zaboko ready? Most probably. Just give me a chance, all you will see. All right. So again, let me just thank those of you who were tuned in via Facebook and YouTube. It's a pleasure to have you viewing with us, and thank you so much for your comments, your compliments. Thank you so much. We appreciate it, and we continue to ensure that we broadcast to you whatever it is that we have organized as we celebrate 50 years as an institution. And we continue to celebrate. We'll be celebrating for an entire year. People celebrate their birthday for a week, 2 weeks, a month. We look up on a whole nanny, a whole year we're taking for ourselves. 50 years? Some of us never reached that. So imagine an institution reaching 50 years. Put your boss way, you should celebrate now. You have to take a whole year. If you can take 50 years to celebrate, do that. All that good. All right, so we are moving on to the Kalibishi Primary School. Let's welcome again Kayla Fabian.
DBS News.
Health Minister Dr. Irvin McIntyre has renewed a call for Dominicans to get vaccinated against COVID-19. Over 18,000 Dominicans have already received the vaccines. Dr. McIntyre says the country's fight against COVID-19 continues to be successful. He says that getting vaccinated is the only way Dominica can get back to a sense of normalcy. He says Dominica must also consider themselves fortunate that there are vaccines available.
All right. Kayla Fabian from the Castle Bruce. If I thought no, I saw CA. And this is the challenge I'm having a lot of times. I am not used to English. I always say that. Hey. But when I'm called on, I take the task. But hey, you understand? But sometimes I have so many papers in front of me, and the English thing may say Kalibishi, Castle Bruce. Okay, it's Kalibishi, hey, folks. It's Kalibishi Primary School. I apologize. All right, so we're moving to our final participant in this second round, the reading of the news item from the Bense Primary School, Keila Marcel.
Antigue
DBS News.
Antigua and Barbados Prime Minister Gaston Brown has hinted that general elections constitutionally due in 2023 could be held as early as November 2021. Brown is also predicting that his ruling Antigua and Barbados Labour Party will improve on the 15 of the 17 seats in the 2018 elections. In fact, Brown says the party will sweep all seats. If Brown calls the election in November, it will be the second consecutive occasion that voters in Antigua and Barbados will go to the polls ahead of the constitutional deadline.
All right, Kayla Marcel, Bense Primary. Kayla is 7 years of age. She is in grade 2. Her favorite subject is mathematics. Her hobbies are drawing and coloring and playing. She would like to become a doctor to help others get better. As a matter of fact, Kayla is already practicing on her older sister. So this was Kayla Marcel from the Bense Primary School. So this is it for round 2. Next round will be the reading of the sports news, which is new to this year's competition. So we're just including everything that have to do with DBS. We're reading all the stories, we're reading all the news, and then, of course, we read you the sports. I'll take a pause for a good cause and take a word or acknowledge our sponsors.
The DBS Radio Ministry of Education National Reading Competition is brought to listeners, compliments the Central Cooperative Credit Union Limited. Own more shares, get more benefits. Let's grow our credit union together. National Bank of Dominica, your partner, your bank. National Cooperative Credit Union, one big family. Jay's Bookstore, your supplier for books, greeting cards and furniture. Carlton Phillips Motor Pool, drive in and get the world of vehicle parts. APP Electrical, we do better. OT Trucking, OT at your fingertips for safer trucking services. Springfield Trading Limited, quality is everything. LaFalle's Lab, quality and confidentiality. Auto Depot Limited, when you can't find it, we have got it. AC Shillingford and Company Limited, spend less, get more. Crispies, tasty. 8 Bank, fulfilling our role in the development of a resilient Dominica. West Coast Cooperative Credit Union, most credible choice. Fort Young Hotel, Ocean Edge, Garaway Enterprises, Jungle Bay Resort, the Grand Bay Cooperative Credit Union Limited, Fox's Bread Depot, The Sign Man, a business without a sign is a sign of no business. Fine Foods Distributors, the biggest distributors of the biggest brands. 50th Anniversary Radio DBS. We say a big thank you to all our sponsors. We are reading for Felix. We are reading. Reading makes us smart.
Thank you so much, Shaifunar. Once again, our students have been given their third reading material, reading of the sports. We want to again say good afternoon to our sports editor, Gavin Richards at DBS Radio. Thank you so much for the commitment that you've made to ensuring that sports news goes out not only to the Dominican public, but of course, to the folks in the region and the rest of the world. Just like our news, our sports news is something that we can boast, because sometimes people from even overseas call us for our sports news, in case you did not know. So again, we commend the efforts of Gavin Richards at DBS Radio. When you say I speak in low, so it's something not coming up, you know. I need you also get your calculators out. Use your phone if you have to. But the next question is a mathematical question. I said right, not your mathematical? Yes? So get your calculators out. Let me see if I can boost somebody's brain. Oh, I'm sorry. I was placed directly into the camera. Sometimes you can see when somebody is smart, you know, by just watching your face. And you seem like a smart lady. You seem like a smart lady. You can say not if you want this, but you ain't coming. I see people on the calculator, mommy. I know you're smart already. You can calculate in your head. It's okay. I'll come to you in a little while. But I'm saying get your calculators out, because this next one is a mathematical one. And if you know the answer, please don't say nothing, man. Hey. Mommy, you still calculating? I don't ask the question yet, you know. Okay, I come into you. Let's try. You put it? You put it? Okay. All right, here's the question for you, mommy. Olila, no? Okay. How many seconds are there in a year? Hold it there. I tell you what your calculator, you know. How many seconds are there in... She got the calculator for you, Jesus. How many seconds are there in a year? Give you a time to calculate? Okay. I'll go by the person that is actually calculating, and let's see what I get. How many seconds are there in a year? Okay. You did not calculate in time. Let's see. How many seconds are there in a year? Why? Oh, you have a calculator now. Still not getting that. You ready? Okay. How many seconds are there in a year?
31,536,000.
So that's the amount of seconds you get on your calculator, that there are in a year.
Yes, and that's an ordinary year, right? Not a leap year.
Okay, so you want to put the extra day on it now?
No, not at all.
So how many seconds are there in a year?
31,536,000.
Well, my lady, your calculator wrong. There are 12 seconds in a year. January 2nd, February 2nd, March 2nd, April 2nd, May 2nd, June 2nd, July 2nd, and so on. And so you really take a calculator to calculate. Oh my, oh my, oh my. That was fun, yes, that was fun, that was fun. But at least I know now it's 41 million. I know now. All right, let's move on now. It seems we are ready. Our judges per way. Our students have already been through their reading materials. So again, they'll be reading sports news. Again, this was once aired on DBS Radio. So we'll go into the third leg of this second day of competition, of course. So we call again from the Woodford Hill Primary School, Keziah Andrew.
The nation and beyond. DBS Sports Report.
Ricky Scarrett and Dr. Kishore Shallow have been re-elected unopposed to the posts of President and Vice President, respectively, of Cricket West Indies. They were elected during the 22nd Annual General Meeting of Cricket West Indies yesterday. Skerritt said he was humbled and deeply honored to be reelected to serve as president for a second term. And Dr. Shallow said it was a victory for West Indies cricket as they continue on the path of growing the game across the region.
All right. Thank you, thank you. That was Keziah Andrew from the Woodford Hill Primary School. Cricket. My favorite subject in sports, cricket. Pretty soon we'll be able to view the West Indies hosting South Africa. As a matter of fact, from June 18th, the West Indies will host Africa in the first test. Yes, in St. Lucia. West Indies are currently going through a camp as they're preparing to host South Africa. Second participant from the Wesley Primary School, Charis Bethelme.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
President of Dominica Football Association, Glenn Entine, has rated the pilot program for the men's national football team as a success. 3 months leading up to Dominica's World Cup campaign, the men's national team were engaged in full-time training. Entine says, however, while the program showed great promise, the association will need help to keep it going. He revealed that the pilot program cost well over $500,000.
All right, so Charis Bethelme from the Wesley Primary School. Let me call on you in the audience. Tapui, souple, please. Let's say Safalakali. Please be quiet. Please be quiet. Souple. When you said in Creole, it was. Please be quiet. Because I can hear you, and they can hear you too. And that can put them off while they're reading. We're all smart, we know. But allow them to read quietly. Thank you very much for your cooperation. As we move to the W.S. Stephen Primary School, Ellis Charles.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Dominica has missed out on hosting international cricket this year. This as the Windsor Park Stadium was not included on the list of venues for the upcoming West Indies series against South Africa, Pakistan and Australia. Windsor Park, which has not hosted international cricket since the passage of Hurricane Maria, was earmarked to be one of the venues for the South Africa series. The action-packed schedule for the West Indies men was announced on Friday and runs from June to August 2021.
Yes, thank you so much. Well, I will tell you something. When that news broke, well, it didn't break to me because, hélas, when it comes to cricket, I like to know when the West Indies is going to play, even if it's 2 years ahead of time. So when I got to know that we will not, because we were scheduled to receive a game against New Zealand, that was cancelled, of course, due to COVID. Next, we were told that we would have hosted a South Africa, and boom. Bon Dieu, but I've gotten over that. Maybe it's a good thing. You know, when all those people come in, what can happen? So maybe it's a good thing. But I'm still mad. You know, I want to see my cricket in my stadium, man. So, you know, but when the time comes, of course, we will be able to host cricket again. Okay, so we're moving to the Baroness Patricia Scotland Primary School. We welcome again Naomi Charles.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Captain of the men's national football team, Glenson Prince, says the team will have to regroup as they continue with hopes to qualify for the next round of the FIFA World Cup. Dominica's World Cup champions suffered a major setback as they were beaten by the Dominican Republic in their opening encounter. While the national team put up a brave effort, Dominica Republic held on to a 1-0 win. Dominica will next play Panama on March 28th, also in the Dominican Republic.
Naomi Charles. And of course, that was news back in March. You would have heard the news that Dominica, of course, did regroup, allowing them to win against Anguilla just day before yesterday, winning 3-0, allowing Dominica to earn 3 points and third place in their group. So let's give it up one more time for Team Dominica, the Nature Boys. Yes, les bons, dis bon. All right, so we're calling on the representative from the Tebow Primary School, Nila Thomas.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
President of Dominica's Cycling Association, Ronald Charles, is calling on the cyclists to assure they ride with all the necessary protective gear. His call comes following a recent near the West Indians oil gas station in Canfield, which left a cyclist nursing serious injury. Charles is also asking monitors to be with the interesting number of cyclists on the road. The 2020 National Cycling season is set to begin next month.
All right, thank you so much, Miss Nila Thomas from the Tebow Primary School. And cycling has become a big thing here in Dominica. We are hearing names like Levi Baron, and the young 13-year-old, of course, just recently, Koaf Baron left Dominica to get professional training in Italy. You know, as a cyclist, so nous fait bien, nous pas monde, mais quand même. We're doing good in cycling, and we're just hoping maybe at some stage Dominica will be represented in the Tour de France. Of course. All of a sudden, yes? I mean, see, the Tour de la Guadeloupe, Tour de France, we can make it, man. I mean, we have enough one to challenge and enough mountain to ride, you know, to prepare. But we'd like to see Dominica in the Tour de France, of course. All right, so we're moving on to the Temple SDA Primary. We call one more time Shamina Lee.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
A champion will be crowned this evening in the finals of the Sports Division National Bank of Dominica Primary Schools Boys 13 and Under football competition. The Christian Union Primary will meet Petit Savan Primary in the finals. That match will be played at 3 p.m. at the Newton Savannah. The third placed spot will also be decided when the Penville Primary School comes up against the Delis Mornjon Combined Primary School at 2 p.m.
All right, thank you so much, Miss Shamina Lee. And again, just recently, the Bense Primary School advanced to the semi-finals in the primary football competition. So we're doing well once again in sports. We want to ask, the parents, the teachers, the schools, to keep the students involved in sporting activities. We're moving on, yes, to the Penville Primary School. Let's welcome one more time, Kia Roberts.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
President of the Dominica Boxing Association, Joseph says 2021 will be an interesting year for the sport. According to Joseph, boxing, like every other sport, was impacted by COVID-19 in 2020. The association is hoping to organize a number of activities for this year. Joseph says if the COVID-19 restrictions made it impossible to bring in boxers to the island for a competition, there will be one for the local talent.
All right, thank you so much. Young Roberts, representing the Penville Primary School. We want to commend, of course, Joseph for keeping the sport of boxing alive here in Dominica. I never thought I would see boxing in Dominica, La Munca Box. Never, ever. But we have an association. We are seeing our young men are taking the boxing quite seriously. I'm not sure if I'm not sure. But there is an interest in the sport, and we're happy to see that. Again, we just heard of cycling, things we normally see on television, but we are seeing our Dominicans are taking interest in these sports. So we go across now to the Kalibishi Primary School. Kai Fabian.
Covering the nation, covering the nation.
Here, Robert. No, I have Kai Fabian. Kyla Fabian. Mommy was just in my ears, that's why. Mommy, stop. It's Kyla. She said, Kai Kinozafamoy, Kai. Kyla. Okay, Kyla Fabian, I'm sorry.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
The Dominica Athletics Association is putting together a packed summer of activities beginning this weekend. President of the Dominica Athletics Association, Godwin Dorset, says a number of the regional meets have been impacted by COVID-19. He says the association will continue working to ensure local athletes are ready for regional and international meets when they return. The National Youth and Under 23 Championship, the National Junior Championship, and the National Club Championship are among competitions planned.
All right, thank you, Kyla Benjamin. Moji by Benjamin. Kyla, I apologize dearly. You know I love the creativity of some parents these days, huh? No, I love it. It gives us a challenge. Not only me as an announcer, but the teachers get a challenge. I remember when I was going to school, my teacher said to me in college, your name is phonetically incorrect. So I just had to go with what people thought was the correct way to call me. Yes? But I appreciate your creativity, eh, folks? Like La Dasha with a dash. Yes. All right, so we're moving to the final student here this afternoon. Okay, her name is Keila Marcel from the Bense Primary School.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Four teams will be participate in the semi-finals of the sports division organized netball championship on Friday. The games will be played at the Benjamin's Park in Portsmouth. The Dominica State College B team will go up against Academics at 2:30 p.m. and in Game 2, beginning at 3:30 p.m., the Portsmouth Secondary School will take on the Dominica State College A team.
All right, so thank you so much, Kaila Marcel from the Bense Primary School. So we've come to the end of competition. So the students now can relax and move around and do what it is that they would feel best at this time, while our judges will retire. I too will take a little break to go back to Studio 1. And when we come back, we'll give you the judges' remarks, maybe a few remarks from the audience and the results.
DJ Matthew for a little Friday afternoon session, linking up with Loud Radio Live from London. And then it's back to you guys for the results of today's competition.
The range of Kin juices are 100% natural with no added sugar. Kin offers a range of refreshing juices which are enriched with vitamin C and no added preservatives. Delight yourself in one of Kin's nectars or treat your little ones with a Kinita box drink at a refreshingly low price today. Keen, the juice in our lives. Sold at major supermarkets island-wide. Distributed by Fine Foods Inc.
Go! 2 for it! Calling all fathers. Get ready for Angostura Single Barrel Rum Father's Day Domino Beers Competition. Starting Thursday, June 3rd at Georgia Bar in Maho and continues thereafter island-wide in Bellevue Chopin, Casgorilla Plain, Thibault, Watersville. The grand finals will be on Sunday, June 20th from 11 a.m. at Georgia Bar in Maho. All you gotta do is purchase one bottle of Angostura Single Barrel Rum on the day and enter to participate. So don't miss the Angostura Single Barrel Rum Father's Day Domino Beers Competition. $1,500 for the winning beer and $500 for the second place winner. Happy Father's Day to all. May the strongest beer win. Angostura Single Barrel Rum, distributed by Fine Foods Inc. Go! 2 for it. Please drink responsibly.
Hi, you know me as Val Coffee, the young bull, pharmacist and entertainer. Whether I'm on or off the stage, I do it with distinction. Distinction Premium Brand Evaporated Milk is 100% pure cow's milk and can be used in cooking, baking and teas. There is no vegetable oil or fat, skim milk, soybean oil or milk flavor. Distinction Premium Brand Evaporated Milk is the best choice for your family. Your children will love you for it. It's dairy fresh and not reconstituted. A healthy brand famous since 1980. Distinction Premium Brand Evaporated Milk is available island-wide. Local agents, Fine Foods Inc. So next time you buy evaporated milk, get Distinction, a healthy brand. Bring back the milk.
Papa, fidélité na luzito, muvanda pesa, iki mambo bunge ki mamunu raison ikeleve, ajo, jojo joe, jojo papa, si j'avais su que tu étais méchant.
To all those locked on at Hens Primary School, awaiting their results. Shout out to Amelia, Kimala, Blondine, Annadale. You're locked on to the nation station via Lab Radio. Hey! DJ Matthew in the building. one is right here. A little suckus for you. Because yes, the BVI is big up. Shout out to the doctor one time. Hey, doctor, how you do? Ay, ay, ay. Sukus. Big shout out to the Colio Massive. Aha. Hey. Once again, big up the Hens Primary School. Tweety, when they come by you. Ha! the VIs. Attention! gram, big of the gram, be master. Hey, Belvy.
Là où chacun joue son rôle et disparaît, reviens mon amour. Chérie, tu m'as troublé, tu m'as troublé, mon amour, je suis à toi. Bébé Gono, et Yébam, Idamo, et Wamo, Oriki, ma
California. Locked on.
Ça c'est Miguel Diomba à la basse. Sakipou, la rivière Patachaye.
Yes, man. Once again, big up the primary school there, hence. Big up yourself. Listen to the culture, yeah? Yes, man. I live the culture for you. But let me give you something that you know. The youngsters, them. Joel. DBS, we pause for the cause. Pause for the cause. Bill's gonna pay. Daddy, I'm a general.
Father's Day is just around the corner. Win your dad something he will appreciate. From now till June 18th, spend $100 or more at Best Price for a chance to win a grilling hamper or a LED beer wine cooler filled with personal drinks. It's your way of saying, I love you, Daddy. Terms and conditions apply. Happy Father's Day from Best Price.
It's never a bad time to feel good. At Quartz, we've got all you need to make your home more comfortable and enjoyable, all at the best prices. Save on products like the Whirlpool 14 cubic foot refrigerator, now only $3,299. Save $400. The Virginia Depot 7-piece dining set can be yours for only $1,099. Save $500 off a 14-inch HP laptop, now just $2,499. And feel good with a new 50-inch MasterTech Smart TV, now only $1,799. So feel good every day with the perfect purchase from Quartz. Shop in-store or online at www.shopquartz.com. Quartz, bringing value home.
Daddy, look what Mommy and I have won you.
This Father's Day, the dads have spoken. Give them what they really want. LED, beer, wine, ice cooler, filled with drinks, self-love package at the Cave. Simply spend $100 or more at Fresh Market for a chance to win.
This is the best gift ever.
Promotion runs from now until June 18th. Terms and conditions apply. From us to you, happy Father's Day.
David, you sure this car will get us home?
Tonya, I know my God. Trust me. That can take us to town and back on an Eaton. Wow, not now.
David, I told you to put in Rubis Ultratech fuel last week. That gas is longer lasting for sure. It improves fuel economy, saves you money, and maintains vehicle performance. What sort of car man are you supposed to be?
What does Ultratech Fuel's greater fuel economy mean to you? You get more miles for less. Put only the best in your tank. Ultratech, only from Rubis.
All right, the time complements our Caribbean Alliance is a 5:47. Have you called Caribbean Alliance yet? Standing by for the results of this afternoon's reading competition live from the Bense Primary School. Back to DJ Matthew for some vibes in the meantime.
Yes. Dr. Labadie, if you can hear me, please come across. Thank you. Dr. Labadie. Yes. Can you hear me now? Miguel is not hearing me in studio. Can you hear me now? You hear me now? Okay, you can come across, doctor.
All right, it's 10 minutes before 6. Thank you, DJ Matthew, for the entertainment live from London. It's time to go across to Milia Joseph across the Bense Primary School for this afternoon's results. Milia.
Thank you so much, Dr. Labadie. Of course, we are just going to run through the results. But before we present the scores and we present the top readers here for this afternoon, we'll go across to Miss Carol Fontaine, one of the judges, to give us her remarks.
Good evening, everyone. Let me just congratulate everyone for being here first, supporting your student, maybe your child, and this is a good thing. let me say, the team we had here this afternoon, all of them came out confidently. They were very good. You could see the confidence in them. That is a good thing, because you do not have to be overly confident, but you have to have some confidence in yourself. Another thing I noticed, the use of the finger pointing to very direct them on the page. Now they are small or they are young, and sometimes the hand-eye coordination on that page can be a problem. It is okay to use your fingers to help to guide you, because most times you do not do that. You skip a line and you go haywire, which may eventually cause you to lose confidence in yourself. Now, a few things need to be corrected. Sometimes the children read and the punctuation is the problem. They pause at a full stop, or they stop at a comma. Now they have to know how to do those things. So when they go back to school, these are some things your school, your teacher, sometimes your parent, if you do lessons, need to take into consideration. Emphasis. The children need to articulate a little more. We found that some of them were not articulating. So let us say a word was ending in ed, extracted. It wasn't there, but I'll use a word. They say extract, and they leave out the endings. So that was the problem we found. We were happy when we saw children decoding, but to decode too much will cause you to lose sense of what you're reading. Because if you decode too much, your comprehension skills will be affected. If you have to retell the story or retell whatever news item, you will begin to have problems. So it's okay to decode, but then you have to decode quickly enough to be able to make sense of what you're reading. We know they are small, but we have to train them, we have to teach them the skills early. You have a sentence, you need to chunk sometimes your words together. So, because it's like if you do not do that, you're counting your words. So it's good to teach them to chunk sometimes. So these are the things we found that could be improved. But we were happy about the finger use, and we were happy about the confidence. And I want to say that all of you all tried. All of you tried, but then do not let one little mistake just break your confidence. Keep going. That's how you learn. Okay? So you're reading and you come across a word that you do not know. Now, if you are reading, sometimes with your comprehension, you'll be able to know what word it is. Because there was an island, let's say Antigua. But she's now with the Antigua and Barbuda. And she said Antigua. Now, right away, you should realize Antigua. So in that case, parents, you have to encourage your children to listen to news. They have to listen to the news, to the sports, because you realize some of the things that have been done here, you know, you need to emulate some of the good sports, the good readers at the radio stations or wherever it is. You understand? So please, if you do these things with the confidence you came out with, you're going to be very good eventually. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Fountain. Thank you so much. And so we'll move straight into the results here this afternoon. Remember, we are selecting the top 30 readers in this first round to move on to round 2. The top 30. Yes, we will choose, of course, the top readers here this afternoon. But overall, after the first round is completed, we will choose the top 30 readers. However, this afternoon, we have 2 ties. However, we do have our formula for breaking ties. We'll make that announcement later. We'll have to move on with the results. So we have 2 tied in 4th position. So we have, I want to get it right, Kia Roberts from the Penville Primary School, tied with Keziah Andrew of the Woodfordale Primary School at 376 points. In the 3rd position, we have 2 ties. Kyla Fabian, Calibishi Primary School, tied with Naomi Charles of the Baroness Patricia Scotland Primary School. Now the second best reader here this afternoon from the Wesley Primary School is Charis Bethelmy. And the best reader this afternoon from the W.S. Stevens Primary, Elise Charles. So like we said, we have 6 of them standing. However, we have our very own method of breaking ties, which we will announce a little later. But like I mentioned, the top 30 in the first round will be selected overall. So we want to thank you, and I continue to urge all of you to continue reading. We'll be moving on to Portsmouth on Monday to the Roosevelt Douglas Primary School, where we'll have day 3 of competition. However, we'll have to come short of these proceedings, as we'll have to move back to Studio 1 for the presentation of the DBS Evening News. It was indeed a pleasure.
We say congratulations to the top students. I tried to take notes and keep up with Amelia, couldn't keep up with the pace, but from the info I was able to get 2 ties, 4th positions. So there was a tie for 4th place from the Penville Primary, Kaya Roberts and Keziah Andrew from the Woodfordale Primary. Tie for 3rd place, Kelia Fabian and Naomi Charles. And 2nd place, Wesley Primary, Shanice Bethelmy and Elise Charles, representing the Will Strathmore Stevens of the Northeast. So we say congratulations to the top reader. Standing by for the evening news on DBS Radio. Let's just take 90 seconds or so from DJ Matthew. Of course, we'll have the results of this afternoon's reading competition.